friends would walk up.
Alright, I think we're good.
Are we good? Hold up. Jesus Christ, man. First time I ever had technical difficulties. I didn't know what the fuck to do. Hold up. Okay. Jesus Christ. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. But like I was saying, we got a big 10-game slate for Monday. Going to break everything down, answer all your questions. I didn't go live Sunday, but obviously I'm here today to talk through everything. We can still recap the lineup that I played Sunday. Talk about Draftkings, Yahoo. Had a pretty good night on Yahoo. I was doing pretty well there. Had a chance to actually take down some stuff, but kind of fell back after the Cavs and the Wolves game. That kind of pushed me back a little bit. But we'll talk through everything. Appreciate all you guys tuning in though, and sorry for the technical difficulties. Sorry about that. But what's up, everybody? What's up, T-Bone, Iceman, Suave, Anthony, Clinton, Christopher, Reggie? How about Gorgie Jang as a value? I think Gorgie Jang's fine. I don't know what his minutes are going to look like. He could play 15, 16. He could play 26, 28 again. If I knew that Gorgie Jang was going to play 26 minutes, 28 minutes, I'd play him like everywhere. I just don't know if that happens. So it's a risk tolerance thing, T-Bone. If you want to take that risk, you can. The upside's there. Just, if he plays 16 minutes at the end of the night, don't be surprised. That's all I'll say. Let's get it, Trevor. What's up, Trey? What's up, Puck and Roll? What's up, Obi-Wan? Who are your favorite values under 4K? Right now, Coley, there isn't a ton of great value under 4K. I think the one guy that does stand out is Monte Morris. He's 3,800. Now that Gary Harris is out, I think Monte Morris likely starts today for the Nuggets. He started the second half in place of Harris on Sunday whenever Harris got injured. Played 26 minutes, had 20 DK points. At 3,800, he's someone you can definitely look to. And we have to wait and see. Like, there's still a couple guys questionable right now. Like Terry Rozier still questionable, which is going to impact LaMelo. Might open up some value with Malik Monk. Steven Adams is questionable, so that could give us some value with with Jackson Hayes, who's 4K. So we just got to wait and see. Right now, Monte Morris looks like one of the better values under 4K. Top 3 spin-ups. For me right now, I think it's probably Giannis, Lillard. Probably Giannis, Lillard, and Jokic, like above 9K. Those are the guys I like most in that order. Let's go, DFS go. Let's get it, Carlito. Let's get it, my man. LaMelo or Lonzo? King Carter, I think both are really good plays. Obviously, if Terry Rozier is out, LaMelo is a really good option. I mean, LaMelo is probably the safer play just because he's been more productive on a point-per-minute basis this year. But Lonzo I do like quite a bit. Honestly, I think if Terry Rozier's out, you could play both guys, LaMelo and Lonzo. Have a little stack of those two. My hometown Bucks refuse to guard the 3. Love me some Lillard and Gary Trent tonight running it back with Giannis. Andy Labs, I think that's totally viable. I think all 3 of those guys are in play tonight for sure. Ball Brothers for cash on Yahoo. We'll have to wait and see. If Terry Rozier plays, I probably wouldn't go to LaMelo and cash, but yeah, if he's out and LaMelo somehow maybe starts, oh yeah, I'd be all over LaMelo, especially if he starts because the minutes should be there. Noah, my man, good night for me last night. Thanks, bro. If Rozier's out, you prefer Monk or LaMelo? Well, David, you got to factor in the price. Like, Malik Monk is 3,300. LaMelo is I think 6,600 or 6,500. So it's a price thing. Obviously, LaMelo has way more upside and is likely to put up 50. But if Malik Monk goes for 30 and he's 3,300, he's going to really be a really good play as well. I think if Rozier's out and we get a scenario where Malik Monk starts, then yeah, I'd like both quite a bit. Even LaMelo coming off the bench would still probably play about 30 minutes. The rumor is that Melo's going to start. Yeah, that's possible. He started the second half in place of Rozier last game, so I guess we'll see. It's no lock, though, that Rozier could play. We just don't know right now. Who looks too cheap in the mid-range? There's a couple guys in this mid-range I like. Dejounte Murray and DeMar DeRozan. As much as I hate to say it, they both look too cheap again. They killed me Saturday, but I'm fine going right back to them today. Some other guys like John Morant still feels a little bit too cheap on DK. If John Wall's going to play over 30 minutes, he's too cheap at 6,900. I like Will Barton a lot. He's really cheap. Now that Gary Harris is out, Will Barton looks really good. He's 4,800, I believe. Yeah, 4,800. I like Will Barton quite a bit as a value play. He got 37 minutes last game with Gary Harris injured. Had 35 DK points. He's been a frustrating guy to roster this season. It seems like, He'll have games where he pops off for 35 DK points and plays a ton of minutes, and then he'll just completely shit the bed the next game. I mean, I don't want to say I'm insanely confident in Barton, but I do feel confident the minutes will be there, and that's really all we can ask for. When he's 4,800, if he's going to play over 30 minutes and he's close to a point per minute player, then yeah, he's definitely in play for me. Him and Morris, I think, are the two value plays that have opened up now that Gary Harris is out. But we still have to wait on news on Steven Adams, Terry Rozier, because we could have some value there if those two guys are out. Terry Rozier's out. Is that confirmed? I don't think that's confirmed yet, Kenneth. I think he's still questionable. LaMarcus Aldridge or Vanderbilt? I probably would take LaMarcus Aldridge. I mean, I don't love LaMarcus Aldridge because he just doesn't have a ton of upside, but I'd still probably take him over Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt just doesn't get enough minutes, so I don't know. If they give him more minutes, I'd like him a lot, but he doesn't play 35, 36 minutes like I would wish he would. Edwards over Halliburton. I think I'd take Halliburton there, Coley. On DraftKings, I'd take Halliburton. Now on Yahoo, if you play on Yahoo, Edwards is really cheap, so I really like Anthony Edwards on Yahoo. I'm sure Hero going to be out for COVID. Who do you like? We have to wait and see, but yeah, if Hero's out, if Dragic is out again, I mean, I don't really want to go to Kendrick Nunn because he's still pretty expensive, but I think Jimmy Butler gets a nice boost if those guys are out again. So Hero, if he's out, that does affect Jimmy Butler. Butler got priced up though as well on DK, so not much really stands out from Miami today, honestly, outside of maybe Jimmy Butler. Dwight Howard snapped like you said he could. I mean, it seems like whenever we get the scenarios when Embiid's out, like we always play the starters. So if Howard starts, we all play him. If Tony Bradley starts, we all played him like he did yesterday. And then of course Dwight Howard goes off coming off the bench. Last time we played Howard when Embiid was out, it was Tony Bradley who went off. It's been so frustrating, man. We're gonna take a look back at my lineups from Sunday. I did play Tony Bradley, obviously. I ate that chalk. You like Anthony Edwards? The last piece tournament play did very well last night. Thanks for the help. I do. I think he's totally fine as the last piece in. On DraftKings, he's not someone I would be starting my lineup with, but as a last guy in, I think he's totally fine. Now on Yahoo, he's a lot cheaper over there, so I do like Anthony Edwards a lot on Yahoo. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Lamar. Appreciate you tuning into the stream, man. Wall hasn't been playing over 30 minutes. He got 30 minutes one game. Last game, I think he went back down to 26, but I would assume most games you get 30, 32 minutes from John Wall. Like, I would think the minutes could only go up from here. Because, I mean, when he was fully healthy at the beginning of the year, Wall was playing like 36, 37 minutes. If Adams is out and Hayes starts, will he be a top value play? I mean, yeah, he'll probably be someone I'd definitely be on. He's super cheap. I don't know if he plays a ton of minutes, but he's a pretty productive player when he does get minutes. So even if we get 22, 24 minutes from Jackson Hayes at 4K, he would be a pretty solid value, especially in a great matchup like it is against Sacramento. You think Giannis is someone we need to have in our lineup, or is Randall also a good option? I mean, I like both those guys, Nicholas. I think Giannis right now is the guy I want to try and fit in, but we got to wait and see what value opens up. Like, if we don't get any value, it's going to be tough to get Giannis because, I don't build out my lineups yet, but I did try and, make a couple builds with Giannis, and it was tough to do so. There wasn't a ton of, great value that I loved. Do you recommend spending up in a 20-person contest? I mean, if you're talking about, your roster construction-wise, spending up for a stud, I mean, yeah, there's nothing wrong with spending up for a stud in a 20-person contest. It doesn't make a difference. I guess depending on what the payout structure is, that'll make a difference. But, yeah, I mean, doesn't change anything for me. How you feel about rolling with Barton and Monte in cash? I think it's fine T-money because they're both pretty cheap. Barton's under 5K. Morris is under 4K. I mean, especially if Morris starts, then you would get those two guys starting alongside each other, which means they're not really going to take minutes away from each other. Yeah, I'm totally fine playing Barton and Monte together. If Monte starts. If he comes off the bench, I'd be a little bit worried about it, but I think he's going to start. PJ Dozier is out for sure. Maybe that's why you thinking Kenneth. Oh, yeah, PJ Dozier is out. That's actually pretty impactful, too, because PJ Dozier is a guy they like to get minutes to off the bench, and now that he's out, I mean, that makes me even more confident in, Monte and Will Barton. Thoughts on Dejounte Murray, Halliburton, DeRozan, Giannis, Zeller, Lonzo, Edwards, Morris for single-entry tournament? That's pretty solid for now, Dylan. It's pretty solid for now. Who tends to get minutes if Adams is out? Well, we haven't had a scenario yet, David. I don't think we've had a scenario yet where Adams has missed a game, but I would assume that if Adams is out, it will be Jackson Hayes who starts. And then you would probably see Zion playing a lot of backup 5, which would be beneficial for him. What's up, my DFS brother? How do you feel about Jeremy Grant in a revenge game? I'll be honest, T-Man, I'm not going to look too much into that. If you want to play Jeremy Grant, you can, but I don't know. Not someone I'm really going to look to. How you feel about a guard-heavy lineup tonight? Yeah, I've looked at, there's a lot of guards that stand out today, especially now that Morris has opened up as a value. If Terry Rozier gets ruled out, that's going to open up LaMelo and Malik Monk. There's a lot of good guard plays. So, yeah, this could be one of those slates where you're kind of playing 4 guards, playing a guard in your util spot. Do you have a link to Discord? Monk, if you're a Patreon member, you'll be able to access Discord there. Thoughts on this lineup? Halliburton, Quickly, Anthony Edwards, Giannis, Mitchell Robinson, Lonzo, LaMarcus Aldridge, Dejounte Murray. That's pretty fine, Iceman. Pretty fine for now. Thanks, bro, for all your fantasy insight. Love your intake. Always helps me. I appreciate that, Marcus. I'm glad you enjoy the content. Appreciate you tuning into the stream. Giannis has a knee contusion. I'm scared to play him. Well, Suave, he's not on the injury report, so I don't think that's something we should be too worried about. If he was hurt, he'd be on the injury report. Think Barton is a trap? I don't think so, Puck and Roll. He got 37 minutes last game. He's still pretty cheap. If he's going to play 35, 36 minutes, it's hard to not like him when he's so cheap, 4,800. And he's really cheap on Yahoo as well. Is Joker pay-up worth it on Yahoo with Drummond Wood for much less? I think I'd take the savings and play Drummond. I've kind of been fading Drummond lately, but I do like him quite a bit tonight. The minutes went up a little bit last game. He got 32. He was really productive, and he's been really productive. It's just, he hasn't been getting 35, 36 minutes, but he's been so productive, even in 31, 32 minutes that you could definitely get 55, 60 fantasy points from Drummond in 30 minutes against this Minnesota team, because Minnesota, they just can't stop anyone down low. They've allowed the most fantasy points to centers this year, so it is a great spot for Drummond, for sure. Never playing DeRozan again. I feel you, Corey. After Saturday, I felt like I was going to do the same thing too, but he looks pretty good again tonight. He's cheap once again. If Hero and Dragic are out, how do you feel about Gabe Vincent? He'd be viable, but with Jimmy Butler back, Jimmy's going to dominate the usage, so I don't know if Gabe Vincent's someone I'd be too heavily invested in, especially on a big slate like this. Any Tillman love? I think now that Tillman's been priced up, he's almost 5K on DraftKings, I'm less interested in. He's still viable trade, but I'm less interested in Tillman now that he's been priced up. Hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button. I appreciate all you tuning into the stream, as always. What's good, Zachary? What's up, man? Took your advice on the early month Discord test. Let's get it. Oh, I got you, Cody. Appreciate you signing up for the Patreon. I appreciate that. DeRozan or Middleton for Yahoo small forward? Probably would take DeRozan, Reggie. I'd take DeRozan. I don't know. I just rarely play Middleton when Giannis and Drew are healthy, and I've said that so many times. You think Thad Young's a good play, or has price got too much at 5.7K? Yeah, his price is up there on DraftKings. It's tougher to play Thaddeus Young when he's almost 6K. But again, if you play Yahoo, Thaddeus Young's pretty good over there. He's $16. That's pretty affordable for him. Thaddeus Young, he should be productive when he's on the floor, and he's getting the minutes right now. It seems like they want to give him the minutes over Daniel Gafford, so I think 28 to 30 minutes for Thaddeus Young is very likely. Larry Nance is out. Oh, shit. Damn, man. I actually like Larry Nance a lot on Yahoo. He was so cheap on Yahoo. And Drummond is questionable. Well, that is going to fuck up some things. Oh, man. Well, this ought to be fun. So what's Jared Allen's price? Oh, Jared Allen is $5,500. Oh, man. That is going to be tasty. If Drummond gets ruled out, Jared Allen is going to be a great play, especially against Minnesota. Oh, this ought to be fun. 8 o'clock start, so we might get that news. Luckily, 7:30 lock today, so hopefully we'll have that news before lock. But yeah, Jared Allen, I think he's really cheap on Yahoo too. Yeah, he's $20. Yeah, I'm going to really like Jared Allen if Drummond's out. I know he's going to be popular, but that feels like a really good play. Jared Allen he's a guy that's just going to be productive when he's on the floor. He's kind of like a Drummond light. He's going to be under the basket, grabbing rebounds. He can get putbacks. He can block shots. I would assume he probably gets around 30, 32 minutes if Drummond's out. Maybe even more. Yeah, that's a really good play now. I like these, late injuries. I like when stuff gets changed up. It makes it more fun. Yeah, this slate was kind of, there wasn't like a clear build for me that stood out right now, but that's definitely going to open things if Andre Drummond gets ruled out. I think with Larry Nance out, though, that doesn't affect too much. Cedi Osman will probably move back into the starting lineup, and I think he's cheap. Let's see what his price is. I mean, he's $4,900. If we get a scenario where obviously Larry Nance is out, but if we get Drummond out too, I mean, that's going to open up a lot more from Cleveland. Obviously, Jared Allen would be the top guy you would look to, but I think you'd see a usage bump for Colin Sexton. Darius Garland would get a little boost, but Cedi Osman, he'd probably be my next favorite play from Cleveland behind Jared Allen, if Drummond's out. Because Osman is really cheap. I don't know how many minutes he would play. His minutes have been trending down lately, but if we get a scenario where we have no Nance and no Drummond, yeah, Cedi Osman looks really good too. So we could have some really good value from Cleveland. That's going to be something to keep an eye on. Drew Holiday or Fox? I'd probably take De'Aaron Fox. I'd definitely take De'Aaron Fox there. Yeah, that changes some things. For sure. That's the first time we've ever had news break on the stream. So that's glad I was able to touch on it with you guys. Obviously, you probably knew, if Drummond's out, I think, Jared Allen was going to be the clear play there. What about Anthony Edwards as a cheap play? He's starting tonight. Again, great value. Yeah, we talked about Anthony Edwards, Marcus. I like him more on Yahoo where he's cheaper, but he's fine on DK too. IMAX, pretty sure Cat's already been ruled out. Cat's not playing tonight, so don't have to worry about that. McGee off the bench if Drummond's out. Yeah, I don't know what McGee's price is. I probably wouldn't play McGee, but what is his price? I'm sure he's minimum salary. Yeah, he's $3,100. He'd probably get like 16 to 18 minutes backing up Jared Allen, so he could be viable. I mean, we've seen JaVale McGee put up 25, 30 fantasy points in 15 minutes, but yeah, Jared Allen's going to be the priority if Drummond's out. SGA, Fox, CP3, or Morant. Probably would take Fox between those four. It'd be between Fox and Morant. Probably take Fox. Thoughts on Theo Maledon? Yeah, I'm not really on Theo Maledon, T. Nelson. I think there's just going to be so many other better value plays that open up, like we just saw. With this Drummond news now, that's going to definitely open up some potential options in that 4K, 5K range. I just don't want to chase that Theo Maledon game. Just not someone I really want to have a ton of exposure to. You think they might play Allen alongside Drummond in place of Nance? They could, but I think last time, whenever Nance missed a few games, I don't think they did that much. It allowed for Taurean Prince and Cedi Osman to get more minutes. So I would assume if Drummond plays, I think the guys I really want to go to from Cleveland are Drummond if he plays, and then Osman and Prince. Osman would be the one I'd probably look to though first. I'd assume he starts, but maybe they start Prince. We'll just have to wait and see. How will that affect Anthony Edwards? Probably shouldn't affect him at all. Drummond being questionable, Nance being out, I don't think that really affects anything else on the other side. But obviously from Cleveland, we're going to have some potential plays there. What's wrong with Drummond? He's questionable now. He just popped up on the injury report literally like 3 minutes ago with a back injury. He's listed as questionable, and Larry Nance was ruled out. The beat writer here says Larry Nance is listed as out in the Cavs game notes, and Andre Drummond with lower back soreness is questionable. I would say my best guess is that Drummond does not play, given it's a back-to-back, but I guess we'll see. But honestly, I think I'm going to go into the slate probably just assuming he's out. Hopefully we get that news before 7:30, though. We probably should. You like Russell, DeRozan, or Sexton? I think if Drummond's out, I'm going to prefer Sexton now over those three. It'd be close, though. I think all three are viable on this slate. You want to see my results from yesterday? I'm about to show them, Bobby. I'm about to show them in a second. The Twitter really helps, fam. Just got it when you told us to get it. Been doing DFS sports since January. Yeah, you got to get on Twitter if you want. If you want to be successful in NBA DFS, you got to be on Twitter and following the injury updates, because that's the best place to get them. Quickly in a smash spot against the Bulls. What do you think? Yeah, I really like Quickly. I think Quickly in this matchup against Chicago, who's playing at like the second fastest pace this year, they're terrible defensively. I mean, you could not ask for a better spot for Emmanuel Quickly. He's been a high usage player this year. He's been productive when he's on the floor. He's $5,300, which might seem expensive, but it's really not if he's going to be getting 26 to 28 minutes, because he's shown he can put up 30 plus DK points in that time, especially in a matchup like this. I like Emmanuel Quickly quite a bit. Now, depending on what plays open up from now till lock, we'll have to wait and see, but it's possible that I have Quickly in both DK and Yahoo, or in both my lineups. I definitely like him a lot on the slate. We think about Lonzo, Russell, Barton, Giannis, Zeller, Morris, DeRozan, Adams. BK, I mean, that looks fine for now. I hate answering like lineup questions right now at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but yeah, that's fine for now. Because, like we just saw, with injuries, things can change. Like the lineup that you have right now is very likely not going to be the lineup that you're playing come lock. That's why I just think it doesn't make much sense to build out lineups right now. Barton or Seti, if Drummond's out, yeah, that's going to be a close one for me, Jeremy. I'm probably going to be debating that one for a while. I think right now I'd probably still take Barton, but yeah, it's going to be close. I think you could play both, honestly. Are you high on Derek White? I mean, not really. He got like 22 or 23 minutes last game. I just don't think he's someone I want to go to, especially if he's going to have his minutes limited again. I don't want to play, a limited Derek White on a big slate like this. I think there's just going to be so many other options that open up. How do you feel about Bridges tonight in a great matchup? He's playing 35 minutes a game, great pace and matchup. You talking about Miles Bridges? I mean, Miles Bridges is not really someone I want to look to. Like, I don't know if you're talking about Miles or Mikal, but either one, it's not really like, I don't think Dallas plays that fast. I don't think Miami plays that fast, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. I thought Miami had been playing pretty slow this year. Let's see. Yeah, Miami's 18th in pace, and Dallas is down here 23rd, so neither of those teams play fast. It's not really a good matchup for either guy. I don't think I really want to be going to either one on this slate. I mean, maybe if Rozier is out, you could play Miles Bridges, but yeah, I don't think I want to play either Bridges brother. Or I don't even know if they are brothers, but I don't think I want to play either one on this slate. As of now, who are some of your favorite plays on DK? Tyler, I think if I'm paying up, I really like Giannis and Lillard at the top. Depending on what happens with Drummond, if he gets ruled out, Jared Allen's going to be a great option. I think Jetty Osman and Taurean Prince both get a little bit of a boost now that Larry Nance is out. I really like Emmanuel Quickly, Lonzo, Tyrese Halliburton, I think, is too cheap on DK. Those are just some guys I'm looking to. Gary Trent on Yahoo, yeah, totally fine with that, Reggie. I think Gary Trent, he's too cheap on Yahoo for sure. Schroeder or Quickly, I'd take Quickly there. Allen, if Drummond is out, or pay down for Hayes if Adams ruled out. I'm going to prefer to get up to Jared Allen. Jared Allen, he's going to be a top play for me if Drummond's out. All right, we're going to take a look back at my lineup real quick from Sunday. I know I didn't stream on Sunday or didn't make any videos, but I did still play. I still posted core plays on Patreon. So this is what I ran on Sunday's slate. I did get lucky with the Russell Westbrook, Ben Simmons, Kevin Durant combo, which was kind of what you had to have if you wanted to have a successful night Sunday. Westbrook had a massive game. Look, like we knew at some point that Westbrook was going to go off. The minutes were starting to trend up. He's such a productive player when he's on the floor. He's so productive. He contributes in all categories. Did I expect 73 fantasy points from Westbrook? No, but 14% owned on, I think it was 4 games last night. Like, that was still too low for Westbrook. So I liked Westbrook a lot. Terrence Davis was, I thought, a good value again starting. He was pretty popular. Ben Simmons with no Embiid, he gets a little bit of a boost for me. I know his numbers without Embiid haven't been, insane, but I still like playing Ben Simmons when Embiid's out just because I think it does benefit him in the long run. Kevin Durant was a pretty clear play with James Harden out. Tony Bradley was a top value once he was announced starting. I know it didn't work out, but I was still going to play Taurean Prince or Tony Bradley. And then Darius Garland, still like the price on him. I know, he wasn't as appealing here given that he wasn't whatever, I think it was like 5K the last slate. I liked him a lot when he was 5K. At 5,600, he wasn't someone I was really going out of my way to play. He was kind of a last guy in. He kind of fit my build. I definitely wanted to get Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons together just because I think when Embiid's out, those two guys are going to dominate the usage. And, that's kind of been the case whenever Embiid's missed games. Harris was pretty solid with 38 fantasy points. But, yeah, like Garland and Ed Davis, those were kind of like the last guys in. Like, I just didn't know where I wanted to go with my last 2 spots. Ed Davis, I wasn't insanely confident in Ed Davis, but right now Minnesota just doesn't have any bigs. Karl Anthony Towns was out. Naz Reid was also out. They don't have any bigs. Like Ed Davis was going to basically have to play until he fouled out, and that's what happened. He played until he fouled out. I think he played 25 minutes and fouled out in 25 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Or 23 minutes. He played 23 minutes, had 19 DK points. He fouled out in 23 minutes. I just felt like they were going to need his size against Andre Drummond, and, They kind of did, I guess. He just got in foul trouble. But, yeah, that was the lineup I ran on DK. Pretty good night. Finished with 298 on DK. So, was able to profit on DK. Also had a pretty profitable night on Yahoo. Another pretty big night over there. I just kind of got lucky with some of these, random ceiling games. Joe Harris, I didn't love him heading into the slate. But then when I looked at small forward on Yahoo, there were just nobody that I liked besides Joe Harris. And without James Harden, I thought Harris was definitely going to get a bump. So I played him. He shot insanely well. He hit like 7 threes or 8 threes. Obviously ran good with that play. But, you see a lot of the guys I played on DK, I played on Yahoo. Westbrook, Davis, Ben Simmons, KD, Harris, Tony Bradley. So basically my DraftKings lineup was just a 2v2. On DraftKings, I went Darius Garland and Ed Davis. And then on Yahoo, I went Joe Harris and Jeff Green. That was the only difference in my lineup. And yeah, obviously got lucky with the Jeff Green, 42 fantasy points. Did not expect that, but whenever you want to win, like a lot of times when you win these GPPs, you do get a little bit lucky. But yeah, it was a pretty good night on Yahoo, definitely. If I would have played literally anyone over Tony Bradley, like if I would have played even Ed Davis over Tony Bradley, I'm pretty sure I would have, shipped every tournament or come close at least. Because I think Ed Davis on Yahoo, he had like 24 fantasy points, and Bradley had freaking 9. Man, God, Tony Bradley. Didn't see that one coming. But yeah, that was a lineup I played on DK and Yahoo last night. Pretty profitable night. So let's try and keep it going on this slate. Joe Harris went off. Yeah, he couldn't miss. I was watching a lot of the game, and he literally just couldn't miss. What's up, Noah? Appreciate all your research and hard work, brother. Well, thank you, Robert. Thank you, man. I appreciate you tuning into the stream. Is Josh Richardson worth a dart throw? Probably not for me, Coley. Honestly, I just don't think he's going to be someone I really look to on a bigger slate like this. I had Westbrook and Durant and Simmons. If I go Drummond over Kyrie, I win first and $700. I feel your pain there, Michael. I had Westbrook, Durant, Simmons. Wasn't really going to consider Drummond. He just didn't fit into my build. But yeah, I understand. I understand your pain there. Simmons instead of Van Vliet would have got me second in the baller. Yeah, I feel you there, T-Bone. Literally, if I would have played anyone over Tony Bradley, like any other cheap center, like Ed Davis, if I would have played Ed Davis over Bradley, which I was never going to do, but if I would have, that would have obviously been very beneficial. It sucks, man, because a lot of the guys behind me, like I think at one point I was profiting like over 2K heading into the Cavs game, and then Anthony Edwards had like 40 fantasy points, and he was like 15% owned, so a lot of people that had Anthony Edwards wound up passing me. But I was still able to have a really good night, so can't complain. Cam Reddish keeps starting at 4,800. Thoughts? I mean, it's not a good matchup against the Lakers. Even at 4,800, he's not like that cheap. I just don't think Cam Reddish is going to be someone that I really look to on a bigger slate like this. Especially because, lately I've been only playing one lineup on each site, and, I don't think there's any way I'm getting to Cam Reddish in my one lineup. Possible Rubio night. I mean, I know D'Angelo Russell is questionable. I've went down this Rubio train so many times. Like, I've played him like 3 or 4 times when Russell's been out and he's done nothing. Last night, he was solid, 25 DK points in 20 minutes. I mean, he's going to be low owned, so if you want to buy into Rubio, I mean, at some point he should... I think Rubio at some point is going to pop off. Like, he's going to have like 35 DK points at some time, especially if he does wind up getting a start with Russell out. Like, Rubio's always been a pretty productive player when he does get minutes, so it's weird seeing him be as bad as he's been this year with Minnesota. But yeah, he's someone you could take a shot on if Russell is out. No, I've been losing profit for the last 3 days. Any advice? I mean, Bobby, it could come down to your contest selection. It could just come down to your lineup. I mean, if you're not making good lineups, you're obviously not going to win. But if you're playing in the wrong contest, maybe that's something you should look into. Like, if you have good lineups and you're still losing, then yeah, you probably need to change up what contest you're playing. Would you play MPJ? I think he's viable. Now that Gary Harris is out, he does get a little bit of a boost. But given the pricing and how much cheaper like Barton and Monte Morris are, I think I'd prefer those two guys over MPJ. But yeah, MPJ, he's viable for sure. I'm going to fade DeRozan for sure on this slate. Yeah, you can do that if you want to. I mean, he burned me Saturday. I played DeRozan Saturday, and God, that was just brutal. Brutal, man. Why is Aaron Gordon out? I think he got hurt yesterday. I have no idea. I know he left their game in like the third quarter. I don't think the Magic even played today, though, so it doesn't really matter. Jokic is going to smash the Pistons tonight? I mean, he should, Andrew. He should. without a doubt, because they've been terrible. Like Minnesota, Detroit, I'm pretty sure those are the two teams that are that have allowed the most fantasy points to center. So getting your center facing Minnesota or facing Detroit, that's like one of the better matchups you can get right now. So yeah, definitely a good spot for Jokic. How do I play against you for just a few dollars? Nothing crazy. BK, you can send me a head-to-head contest. My username's GOAT of DFS. On Draftkings, Yahoo, it doesn't really matter. Lonzo or NAW? I would definitely rather have Lonzo. I don't really know why you would want to go to NAW when Lonzo and Bledsoe are both healthy. Is the Joker a better fantasy player than LeBron and or Luka? I mean, on a point-per-minute basis this year, I'm pretty sure he's averaged more fantasy points per minute than those two. Like Jokic has been like the number one guy for DFS this year. In terms of like fantasy points total on the season, I'm pretty sure Jokic is number one. It's close between like him or Giannis, I think. But if you look at the fantasy points per game, I mean, he's averaged the most fantasy points per game this season. Jokic has right under 60. Osman or Prince? We'll have to wait and see, JP, who starts. I think if Prince starts, I'd probably go to him. If Osman starts, I'm really just going to prefer whichever one starts. I'd assume it's one of those two. They get the start now that Larry Nance is out. And if Drummond's out too, then I'd like both those guys more if Drummond's out. I see Drummond sitting personally. Yeah, I think it's possible, especially on the back-to-back. I think it's possible that he does wind up sitting, especially since it's like a back injury. Normally guys, if they have a sore back or something, normally they don't play through that. Normally they'll sit out a game. Status on Devin Booker, he's still questionable, Jermaine. He's still questionable. I scored 328 Saturday. Little burned me. I figured him starting, he would have gotten at least 20. Lamar, I'll be honest with you. Anytime Nasir Little starts, you don't want to play him because he never does anything. Good thing on FanDuel, Allen is a power forward. Drummond's out. Oh, my God. Jared Allen's, I don't know what his price is on FanDuel, but just the fact that he's a power forward, he's probably going to be like 100% owned on FanDuel. I don't know why. Why does FanDuel do that? Like Jared Allen, he never plays power forward. Why is he a power forward? It doesn't make any sense. He's 6K. Yeah, that's probably too cheap, honestly. He's even cheaper on DK, which is crazy. 5,500 on DK. He's gonna be a top play for sure if Drummond's out. FanDuel sucks at positions. Yeah, I could tell. It's like they just put dudes wherever. Bledsoe's still a point guard. Yeah, I don't get it. I remember I think Aaron Gordon was like a small forward, then he moved to power forward. I think they had him at point guard one time. Just weird. Same with LeBron. Like LeBron was a small forward, then he was a point guard. Need a power forward or need a forward play with 3,600 left. Honestly, Todd, I don't know if there's anyone down here that's viable right now. Yeah, it's tough. There's really not a ton of value down here at forward below 3,600. Probably going to want to maybe try and reconstruct, maybe like downgrade somewhere else and then upgrade at your forward spot. Send you the one is $3 entry, winner takes all. Okay, BK, I'll join it after the stream. If Drummond is out, would you be playing Osman and Allen be too much? Nah, Andrew. You could definitely play both those guys together. Especially if Osman starts. I'd be totally fine playing those two guys together. Barton's only 4K on FanDuel. Oh my gosh. He's $13 on Yahoo, so that's $3 off a minimum salary. Thanks Noah. Good luck to everyone back to work. Well, I appreciate you tuning into the stream, Team Money. Thank you, man. You like Hayward or Grant? I think I'd take Grant over Hayward if I had to choose between one of those two. Who on Portland gets value with CJ out? I mean, lately it's been Gary Trent who's been starting for CJ, and he's been playing big minutes, so he's the guy I'd probably look to. Although his prices come way up on DK. Still cheap on Yahoo, though. Favorite small forward on Yahoo? Right now, Nicholas, is probably Will Barton. He's really cheap over there. Will Barton, if you're looking for a cheap guy, if you're paying up, I think DeRozan or Jimmy Butler would be the guys I'd look to if you're paying up. I know he's kind of stunk all year, but do you have any interest in Bazley? He's viable, but I just don't think he's going to be someone I look to, especially if I'm just playing one lineup. I don't think I get to Bazley tonight. You like Jared Allen and Prince if Drummond and Larry Nance are out? Yeah, Larry Nance is already out. Drummond's questionable. I'm going to like both those guys if Drummond's out. Prince, I think, is still viable, though, now that Nance is out. What type of contest you usually play in? Anchor, I'm usually in all like the single entries from like $50 down. So basically all the single entry tournaments from $50 down, I'm in those. And sometimes on the slates where I want to play a little bit more, I'll play like the $100 single entry. But lately I've just been playing one lineup, so I've just been running it and, playing my one lineup and running it and all the single entry stuff. You trust DeRozan after his last game dud? I'd expect him to get back to normal production, Raj. I don't think we should expect 7 DK points again from DeRozan. That was just a weird scenario. Like with the back-to-back, Pop limited all the starters. Obviously, we don't expect that to happen again. Zion or Ingram if Adam misses? I'd take Zion. I would assume Zion gets some backup center minutes if Adams is out. So that would be a little bit of a boost for him. Grant, Garland, Zeller, or Grant, Mitchell Robinson, P.J. Washington. So Garland, Zeller, or Mitchell Robinson and P.J. Washington. Probably go with the second, Cameron, but it's kind of close. Probably go with the second, though. If Rozier is out, who do you like? Do you like Graham as well as Ball? Yeah, I think Graham gets a little bit of a boost if Rozier is out. But Ball is a way more productive player on a point-per-minute basis, so I'd rather have Ball over Graham, especially since they're closely priced. Top fade of the slate? I mean, I don't know if there's going to be someone that's like insanely popular that I'm fading. I haven't looked at like any ownership projections. I don't know who's projecting to be chalky right now. Maybe you guys can tell me and I can tell you if I'm playing him or not. But I mean, right now, if Giannis is going to be popular, I think I'm fine like kind of eating that chalk. He's one of my favorite stud options. I know Jared Allen's going to be popular if Drummond's out, but I'll be eating that chalk for sure. Julius Randle and Giannis in the same lineup. I don't have any problem with that, BK, if you can make it work. Is Miami going to have enough players? They should, Darnell. Let me see. I think they still have plenty of guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they still got plenty of guys. They still got like 10 guys. Even if Dragic and Hero are out, and I think Iguodala is expected to play. I know Vincent's probable. Iguodala, I think, is probable too. Yeah, so they'll have plenty of guys. I wouldn't worry about that. Watch both Ball brothers be in the winning lineup. I mean, it could happen. Like I said, if Terry Rozier gets ruled out, I mean, I already like Lonzo, so if Terry Rozier gets ruled out, I'm going to like LaMelo, and then I could see playing them both if you want to. Can you play Ja and Tillman together? Yeah, that's totally fine. Those guys don't really negatively correlate anyway. Playing Lonzo and Bledsoe together, a bad idea? I mean, I don't love Bledsoe on this slate. I probably wouldn't play him personally. I like Lonzo quite a bit. I mean, if you want to play Bledsoe, you can, but probably not something I'm going to be doing personally. Josh Richardson or Cam Reddish for cash? I mean, Jesus, I probably wouldn't be playing either one of those guys in cash, but I guess if I had to choose one, I'd probably take Cam Reddish, but I don't really like either. Noah, you are the GOAT? Well, I appreciate that, Iceman. Thank you. Joker or Canner on FanDuel? I mean, if you can play Joker, just play him. I'm sure the pricing's different there, though. Gary Trent or Devontae Graham? I mean, if Rozier is out, I'd probably take Devontae Graham over Gary Trent. Thank you for your insight, Noah. Good luck tonight, bud. Good luck to you, Obi-Wan. Thank you for tuning into the stream. When do you update your Final Core plays? I post them, Lamar, I usually post them around an hour or two before lock, and then once news comes out, if news does come out, I'll keep posting updates, so I'll take guys out and replace guys. Basically, I'm updating them up until lock. But I'll post them around probably 5:30, 6 o'clock Eastern time, and then I'll update them if I have to. LaMarcus or Vanderbilt? Probably take Aldridge there. I think we already had that question earlier. Fox, Ingram, Zion stack? I mean, yeah, you could do that, Jesse. It's expected to be a very fast-paced game, so I could see playing, multiple guys from the Sacramento-New Orleans game. You like Horford or SGA? I don't have a ton of interest in either. I'd be fine with SGA on this slate, but neither one stands out as like top options. Appreciate it, man. Ever since you started live streaming, I've been cashing much more consistently. Can't thank you enough. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Ethan. Thank you again for the super chat, man. I know you've super chatted like 5 or 6 times already. I appreciate it. Thank you, Ethan. Thoughts on Gorgie Jang? I mean, yeah, Jang's fine. Like, If you told me he was going to play 26 minutes again, I'd have a lot of interest in him, but I just don't know if that happens. So, yeah. It's your risk tolerance. Do you want to play Jang and hope he gets the minutes? Because if he does, he could smash. You could definitely play him, but don't be surprised if he plays, 16 minutes. In Patreon, do you give a lineup for DK or FanDuel? No, Anchor. I don't give any lineups. I give my core plays. I post my positional breakdowns, my player pool. All that's posted on Patreon, but I never give full lineups. It's against the terms of service to do that on DK, so I'm not trying to get banned. Love the live stream. Well, I appreciate that, Tom. Thank you. How is this if Drummond's out? Morris, Melton, Giannis, Randall, Zion, Allen, Osman, Malik Monk. I mean, yeah, assuming Rozier's out too and Monk starts, then yeah, that's fine. Jenna, that's fine. Any love for Little on the slate? No, not at all. Like, I'm just not going to play Nasir Little. He just doesn't have any upside, even if he does start. Burks can't guard the three. You think Trent goes crazy next to Dane? Thanks for all your insight. I know you missed a ton of work. I mean, I don't want to say Trent's going to go crazy, but he's going to play a ton of minutes. Like, they've been giving him 36, 38 minutes, and that's really all we can ask for. So I still do like Gary Trent because it's a fast-paced game. He's going to play a ton of minutes. I don't know if he's going to knock down, 6 3-pointers or whatever like he did last game, but yeah, I do like Gary Trent. More on Yahoo than DK. Tougher to pay up for him on DK where his prices come way up. You go Lillard, Giannis, or Giannis, Jokic. I'd take Lillard over Jokic, and that might be a little hot take, but I do like Dame quite a bit, and I think you can definitely stack him and Giannis together. And if that game winds up being high scoring and close like it's expected to be, you could get big ceiling games from both those two guys. Theo Maledon or Monte Morris? I'd rather have Monte Morris over Theo Maledon. Noah, keep it up from Straw. Well, thank you, Straw. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate it, man. I'm going to be here every day, Monday through Friday, for sure. Trying to get more weekend streams in as well. Jokic or Luka? I'd take Jokic over Luka. Which game is most likely to blow out? I think right now, I don't know who's the biggest favorite. Milwaukee's the biggest favorite right now. I just realized that. Milwaukee's favored by 9.5, so maybe they could blow out Portland, but I'm not going to expect that to happen. I'm not going to go into the slate hoping it happens. But, I mean, I guess, Milwaukee's the biggest favorite right now, so they're the most likely to blow out, to win in a blowout fashion. Covington, Barton, or Tillman? Probably go Barton there. Rodney Hood to fill in a Stars and Scrubs lineup. Probably wouldn't go to Rodney Hood on this slate. I think there's maybe going to be better value that opens up. I just don't think Hood's going to be someone I look to, personally. Good luck tonight. Let's get this money. Let's get it, Lamar. Let's get it, my man. Trent or Edwards on Yahoo? Yeah, that's a close one for me, Nicholas. I think I prefer Edwards, but man, it's close because both guys, if you look at like any projection site, I mean, both guys, Trent and Edwards, are going to project so similarly. McGee or Allen, I mean, I'd assume if Drummond's out that Jared Allen starts, so I'm going to prefer him over McGee. But if somehow JaVale McGee starts, then yeah, JaVale McGee is going to be a good value. I don't think that happens. Thank you, Tom, for the $2 super chat. You didn't leave a message, but I appreciate the $2 super chat. Thank you, Tom. Got to bounce, bro. Thanks again for everything. Good luck to everyone. See you tomorrow. Love the later start today. Yeah, with the 7:30 lock tonight, I figured I'd go live a little bit later. But I appreciate you tuning into the stream, David, and good luck tonight. We'll be live for about 10 more minutes, so you guys got any last-minute questions, be sure to get it in. I have Jokic and Giannis paired, hoping both are not blowouts. Yeah, that's totally fine, puck and roll. I mean, if you can fit Jokic and Giannis together in the same lineup, I'm never going to have a problem with that. 7,400 left for utility. Let's see. I'd probably go some guys I like in that range, Enes Kanter, DeRozan. If Drummond's out, I'm going to like Sexton more. Dejounte Murray, 6,600, I still think is too cheap. LaMelo is going to be a great play if Rozier gets ruled out, especially if he starts. So just a couple of guys I'd look to there. Love the Yahoo content. Well, thank you, Tom. I've been playing on Yahoo since the day they launched their site, so it's fun putting up content for Yahoo. I just wish it was more popular. I wish more people played on Yahoo. Should I get Giannis and Brook Lopez or Zion and Drummond? Probably go Zion and Drummond. I do like Drummond a lot if he plays. And honestly, now that he's questionable, that's just going to lower his ownership if he does wind up playing, so that's going to make him even more appealing. Quickly or Halliburton? Yeah, that's a really close one for me, Connor. I think probably Quickly, but it's really close between the two. I think I like Quickly's upside a little bit more. but both guys, Quickly and Halliburton, look like really good options. Ayton or Capella on Yahoo. On this slate, I'm not a big fan of either one, Tom, but I think I'd probably take Capella if I had to go to one of the two. You're the best, bro. Great insight. How do I do the super chat? I mean, if you want to, Marcus, you don't have to. If you see the little dollar sign that's below the bottom of the chat, you click that. You can super chat, but you don't have to. It's there for people that want to, but I'd never ask for donations. What's your mindset on higher end single entry? I usually play similar contests as you, but on FanDuel in terms of roster construction. So usually, Anchor, what I do is I'll play like just what I think the best team is. I don't really worry too much about ownership, and maybe that's bad. But I'm just going to play what I think the best team is. So if I have guys that are really chalky, if I like the chalk, I'm just going to eat it in my one lineup. I've been able to have success just, playing the optimal lineup, and that's what I've been doing lately. But sometimes, I'll play what I think the best team is, and I'll have guys that are low owned. So I don't let ownership, just like get me off of guys too much. I think ownership's important, and if you're playing like really big field tournaments, so if you're playing, the big 100K to first tournaments with 60, 70,000 people in them, you need to be factoring in ownership. But in smaller field stuff and single entry, I wouldn't let it, sway me too much. Don't forget to accept my contest after the stream. Good luck to you. I will for sure accept it, BK. I'll for sure accept it. And good luck, man. How much do you look into splits when making lineups, Noah? I noticed Brandon Ingram is a much better home player than away. Not really something I look to in basketball. I think in baseball, maybe you could look to that when it comes to pitchers, because obviously ballparks, are factoring. They can make a difference. But, yeah, I don't really look into home and road splits for basketball. What do you think the fantasy points will be for the winner on DK? I mean, I'll be honest, BK, I really have no idea. Like, if the chalk hits, it's going to be a high-scoring night. If the chalk busts and a lot of guys that are popular fail, then it's going to be a low-scoring night, It's hard to go into a slate, expecting or being able to predict what the winning score is going to be. You just never know. It all varies from slate to slate. Zion or Ingram or Fox? I'd take Fox over those three. Are you off Allen if Drummond plays? Yeah, I probably wouldn't go to Jared Allen if Drummond plays. Even with Nance out, I don't think that's going to give Allen a ton of minutes. Like, I don't know how much they're going to play those two guys alongside each other. So, yeah. Probably would just only consider Allen if Drummond's out. Any prize picks you recommend? I'll be honest, Joel, I don't play on prize picks, so I don't know there. Zion, Grant, or Hayward? Probably would take Zion over those three. You sold on Whiteside as a top value center? I mean, not really. Like, I know Whiteside's been getting pretty good minutes off the bench, but your guess is as good as mine if that continues to happen. Like, even if Whiteside plays 20 minutes, I mean, he's not a lock to smash. I mean, he could, but I don't want to play, especially if Whiteside's going to, get ownership. Like, I just don't want to play Whiteside when he's the backup center. Like, I just rarely play these backup guys that, need to smash in limited minutes. So, no, Whiteside is not a top value play for me. I feel like there's going to be way better value open up. I know you kind of just take it day by day, but what split between cash and GPP do you think is the best? I'll be honest, Jeremy, lately I've just been playing, whatever contest I see that I like, I'm just going to play it. So I haven't really been looking at a specific number like, I have this much in cash and this much in tournaments. I've just kind of been, entering the same stuff every day. I think it's normally about probably like 60-40 for me. I do go a little bit more heavier on GPPs than cash. But I still like playing cash because you'll have nights where your lineup's good enough to cash in double ups, but it's not good enough in tournaments. And if you have it in double ups, you can sometimes make some money back. LaMelo or Lonzo if Rozier's out? I'd take LaMelo over Lonzo if that's the case. Is Hayes in play if Adams is out? Yes, for sure. I would assume that Hayes starts if Adams is out. LeBron or Trey in terms of fantasy points? I mean, LeBron probably the better play there. Does Halliburton play shooting guard or point guard? I mean, I think he can do a little bit of both. He can handle the ball, so I don't know if it really makes a difference. I think he's their backup shooting guard, though. He backs up Buddy Hield, but they play him kind of everywhere. Any Ja Morant love? Yeah, I think he's viable. His price came up a little bit. It's a bigger slate, so he's not like a top play, but still in play for me. Thank you. What do you look at to see if you like the contest or not? I really just look at the payout structure. The entry fee is obviously important. So if it's something I feel comfortable putting money into, I'm not going to just throw money into a contest if I don't, feel comfortable with that amount that I'm entering. But I look at the payout structure for sure. The amount of people that's in the contest. I don't just throw my money into the big 100K to first tournaments. I like to play the smaller stuff with like maybe 3,000, 4,000 people in them. You can find some good tournaments that aren't that, that high in buy-in. You can still win some good money in those smaller field tournaments. Like I know they have like a $40 single entry. They have one they post early on, and usually it fills by this time, and they'll post another one. So if you can get into the second $40 single entry that has like maybe 1,000 people in it, I think that the first place is like maybe 3K, 4K to first. Like that's a really good tournament to play. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Noah. You're the best for helping us. Well, I appreciate that, Raw. I'm glad I could be here, man. Trying to help you guys out. That's all I'm trying to do. Jared Allen or Hayes if Adams out. I would definitely rather have Jared Allen. Definitely rather have Allen. Should LeBron get run tonight on Yahoo? I mean, I haven't really considered LeBron much on Yahoo. I just think there's other studs I'm going to be looking to. I mean, LeBron's always viable, but this doesn't feel like a slate where I'm going to really be jamming him in. Okoro have much value if Drummond and Nance are both out? I mean, not really. Like, Isaac Okoro is just not a high-usage player. He could play a ton of minutes and still score 20 fantasy points. Like, he's just not someone I like playing. Capella or Drummond for tournaments? I mean, I'm going to like Drummond a lot if he plays because I think his ownership's going to go lower. Or it's going to be lower than it should be. Chalk Lonzo on a huge slate. What could go wrong? Is Lonzo actually going to be chalky? I don't think he's going to be, but I guess we'll see. Hey, Noah, how's this lineup look assuming Drummond's out? Morant, Halliburton, Barton, DeRozan, Giannis, Lonzo, Jared Allen. That looks pretty good, Ryan. That looks pretty good for now. The key to these takedowns is the value play, so tonight, who are your best two sub-4K plays? I mean, we've got to wait on some injury news, but right now I think Monte Morris looks pretty good at 3,800. If Malik Monk starts for Terry Rozier, if Rozier's out and Monk starts, he'd be a pretty good value at 3,300. Those would be a couple guys I'm looking to, but we got to wait and see on the news. I don't think JaVale McGee's going to start if Drummond's out, but if some chance Drummond's out and JaVale McGee starts, he'd be a really, really good value. I don't think that'll happen, though. How do you feel about SGA, Trey, Jokic, Middleton, DeRozan, Randall? I mean, I normally don't play Middleton when Giannis and Drew are healthy. I've said that before, but the rest looks fine. Lonzo isn't chalky. I don't think Lonzo's going to be that popular. Lonzo's never popular. I mean, even when he was 5K on Saturday slate, he still wasn't that. I think he was like 20% owned maybe, which wasn't that high. And it was like a shorter slate too. Hayward or DeRozan? I'd probably go with DeRozan over Hayward. Monte Morris, Monte Morris is point guard starting at the 2. It's free square. I mean, yeah, he's a good value if he starts. He loses usage, and he's not going to be as productive in the starting lineup, but I would assume the minutes would be there, which is all you can really ask for when he's that cheap. He's 3,800. If Monte Morris plays over 30 minutes and he starts, I mean, he's probably going to pay off 3,800. Thanks, Noah, for all the great fantasy content. I'm going rookie strong tonight. Good luck, bro. Good luck, King Carter. Good luck, man. Lonzo's showing up at 14%. Yeah, that seems about right. That's probably where he's going to be, I would assume. Are we going to get popped tonight? I hope not, Ryan. Luckily, they've had a day to rest, so we shouldn't see any, random rotations. All the starters should get back to playing their normal minutes. Thanks for the video, bro. Love the content. Helped me some cash the last few days. I'm glad to hear that, Nicholas. What's your dog's name? He loves the couch, huh? Thanks for all your hard work. Yeah, he's back there somewhere. You can see him maybe right here. He's passed out right now. Oh, I just woke him up. His name's Thor. We named him Thor because me and my girlfriend, we're big Marvel fans. We like all the Marvel movies. And we were going to name him after some superhero, so we went with Thor. Favorite small forward play tonight? I think when you factor in salary, it's going to be Will Barton for me. I like him quite a bit. Now that Gary Harris is out, the minutes should be there for Will Barton, and his prices come way down on both sites. I can never decide between Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. I mean, yeah, neither one. Feels like whenever I play either one of those guys, I never get them right, but I don't think this is a slate where I'm going to be looking to either one. You do this full-time or a side job? This is my full-time job, Anchor. To put up DFS content and to play DFS. It's what I do for a living. The good luck dog showed up on the stream. You named your dog after a superhero? What's wrong with that? Oh, it's some troll. You hate to see it. What's wrong with naming your dog after a superhero? Who cares? It's a dog. Something that everybody does. What's up, Noah? I know it's hard to roster, but D-Russ is down to 7,100. We doing it? I mean, you can. It's probably not something I would do on a slate like this, but yeah, it's something you could do. I just feel like there's so many other better options than Russell, than, trying to hope you get D'Angelo Russell right. My dog name is Kevin. He's a 100-pound pit. Yeah, my dog's 50 pounds. He's only a year old, and he's already 50 pounds. Bulldog. Trying to walk his ass. It ain't, I don't walk him. He walks me. Thor's badass, but I appreciate that, Ryan. I thought that was a pretty good name, honestly. We were going between like a couple different things, like Thor. We're going between Groot. We're going to name him Groot after the figure. We weren't really sure. I noticed you aren't big on Hayward at all, even though he's had some absolute monster games. I respect it, just pointing it out. Hey, I've actually played Gordon Hayward a few times this year. I feel like I was pretty high on Gordon Hayward at the beginning. I haven't rostered him as much lately, and usually on bigger slates, I don't really go out of my way to play Gordon Hayward, but I mean, he always has upside. He gets the usage with this Hornets team. Keep up the good work, bro. Thanks for everything. Good luck tonight. Thank you, Isaiah. Good luck, man. Good luck. What's you and your girl's favorite superhero? In terms of, I don't think we have a favorite superhero, but, we love the Avengers movies. We've seen all those. I mean, we've seen all the Marvel movies. And, man, it sucks with the COVID, not being able to go see Marvel movies in theaters. That was something we love to do. Noah, sorry to be late. Computers did not open up in time. Who's your best value play on the slate? I mean, right now, the best value under 4K looks like it's Monte Morris, but we got to wait and see with some news. There's still a bunch of news we're waiting on. Some better value could open up, but right now, Monte Morris looks pretty good, assuming he starts for Gary Harris. Which star is the best to build around? I like Giannis a lot. Giannis, Lillard, I think those are the two guys I like most at the top. John Wall under 7K, plays 30 to 32 minutes. He's a good option. Yeah, I think so, Dylan. I think he's viable for sure. I got two pits. Lex and Loki, they want me for sure. I feel you there. I feel you there. What are your thoughts on McGee if Drummond's out? I mean, we'll have to see who starts. I'd assume Jared Allen starts, and then Jared Allen still gets 30 to 32 minutes. McGee will probably only play 16 to 18 minutes, but yeah. I mean, you could play JaVale McGee. If he gets 18 minutes, he could put up 25 fantasy points in 18 minutes, but I think Allen's going to be the guy we want to go to. We'll have to see who starts, though. I'd assume it's Allen. All right, guys, it's a little bit past 5 o'clock, so we're going to end up the stream. I appreciate all you tuning in. Once again, another day where we had the chat was just constantly flowing, a ton of questions. Appreciate all your guys' support, as always. Best of luck tonight. If I don't take down a tournament, I hope it's one of you guys, all right? Good luck, guys. I appreciate you tuning into the stream. Peace out, family.